vanishing town. It started with a simple road trip. James, Claire, and Alex were driving cross-country, taking the scenic route through the lesser-known parts of the country. They weren't in a hurry, stopping at small towns and abandoned places, taking photos and making memories. Then they found Black Hollow. The town wasn't on any map, but the sign at the entrance looked freshly painted. The streets were clean, and the houses, though old-fashioned, looked well kept. Yet something felt wrong. There were no cars, no people walking, no sounds of life. "This place gives me the creeps," Claire muttered, tightening her jacket against the unnatural cold. Alex, ever the adventurer, grinned. "Come on, it's probably just a quiet town. Let's check it out." James nodded, though he too felt uneasy. Still, they had been driving for hours without passing another town, and they needed gas. They pulled into an old-fashioned gas station. The pump looked brand new, despite the cracked pavement beneath it. James got out and tried to pay, but the machine didn't take his card. Just then, a man appeared at the station's door. He was old, with sunken eyes and a face stretched too tight over his skull. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You folks lost?" "We just need gas," James said, forcing a polite smile. The man nodded. "Fill up. No charge." Claire stepped closer to James. "Why would it be free?" she whispered. Alex shrugged. "Maybe it's a small-town hospitality thing." But Claire's gut told her something was off. "Stay the night," the old man added. "We have a motel down the road. It's open." James hesitated, glancing at the setting sun. They had nowhere else to go for miles, and driving in the dark wasn't safe. "All right," he said. The old man's grin widened. "Good. Real good." 2. The motel. The motel looked straight out of the 1950s. The neon sign flickered weakly, hollow in. The moment they stepped inside, a strange sensation settled over them, like being watched. The woman at the front desk was eerily still. Her hair was too perfect, her eyes too wide, her smile frozen. "3 rooms," James said. "One will do," the woman replied without blinking. Alex frowned. "We prefer 1," she repeated, sliding a single key across the counter. Claire grabbed James's hand. "Let's leave. Now." James hesitated. "It's just one night." Claire wanted to argue, but exhaustion won. They took the room. Inside, the decor was old-fashioned, like a room trapped in time. The TV had static, the lamps flickered, and the mirror on the wall felt wrong. Claire turned away from it. "I don't like this place." Alex sat on the bed, scrolling his phone. No signal. James locked the door. "Let's just sleep. We'll leave at dawn." They turned off the lights, and then whispers. Claire bolted upright. "Did you hear that?" James was already awake, staring at the mirror. The glass rippled like water, and something moved behind it. A figure, numbered dozens of figures. They had hollow black eyes, mouths stretched too wide, their hands pressed against the glass, fingers too long, too thin. And then, one stepped through. The mirror bulged as if made of liquid, and the thing crawled out, jerky, unnatural, its hollow eyes locked onto them. "Run!" Claire screamed. 3. Nowhere to escape. They bolted from the room, but the motel hallway stretched longer than before. The lights flickered. The walls breathed. The front desk woman was still there, her smile unchanged. "You should go back to bed," she said. More of them stepped from the shadows, figures with hollow eyes, stretching their hands toward them. James grabbed Claire's wrist. Outside. They pushed through the doors, and found themselves back inside. The motel had no exit. No matter which door they opened, they ended up in the same place. Alex panted. "We're trapped." Then the bell rang. The figures stopped. The woman behind the desk cocked her head. "It's time." They rushed forward. 4. The hollow ones. The figures lunged. James swung a chair at them, but it passed through their bodies like mist. Alex kicked open a random door, dragging Claire and James inside. They slammed it shut. The room was different. No bed, no windows. Just a single chair facing another mirror. And inside that mirror was James. But it wasn't a reflection. It grinned at him. You shouldn't have come. James stepped back. What are you? The mirror James laughed. We're hollow ones. We take those who wander too far. And now, you belong to us. Alex grabbed James. Ignore it. We have to keep moving. But James couldn't look away, because his reflection wasn't moving with him. It stepped forward, out of the mirror. James barely had time to scream before it grabbed his throat.